All right, so I want to welcome everybody. And this happens to be the first class of PSAF. And I think what should be the first thing should be a manner of introduction. Am I right? So let's get to know ourselves, at least for as many of us that are present online. My name is Christian OGE. Christian OGE, BSc, AAT, ACA, MSc in view, and many others. But that will not matter. The most important thing is for us to pass this paper. That's why we are all here. Okay, so first of all, let me acknowledge those that are present physically. I would like to know them so that I can, when I want to call names, I will not say, sir. Okay. So I would like to know about our names so that, oh, you can sit down, Okay. So that we can put a face, a name to our faces. Mr. Dewe. Okay, you're welcome. You're welcome. Sheriff Adeyemo. Okay, I think I know where I know you from. Okay, don't worry, I'll tell you. Okay, Dam Lola. Okay, so these are for those that are physical. For those that are online, I can see Chidima, I can see Ugu Kesta, I can see Eniola Masha. Please, apologies if I don't mention your name correctly. I can see Mogulu, Kristana, I can see Ogechi, Olainka, Patricia, Smart, I can see Tosin, and I can see Wumi. You're all welcome. Okay, so as is my custom. Okay, Kristana wants to say something. Please, if you want to say anything, just indicate by raising up your hand. I will unmute you so that you can. Okay, Kristana, you have the floor. You can speak.
Sorry, sir. Sorry, it was a mistake. Sorry.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So if you need to say anything, even as the class is ongoing, please just indicate by raising up your hand, then I will beckon on you to speak at every point in time. Okay, so as it is my custom to always encourage students while we start the class, once you are in this class, just see yourself that you are qualified. Yes, that's what I tell my students. Just see that you are qualified. Just a matter of time. By the grace of God, please, you permit me. I may be using God unconsciously, but just permit us. I know we are starting, so this is more or less like an introduction. Don't worry, we'll cover the syllabus, no doubt about that, and everything that you need to know as it relates to the exam, you will know them. I can give you that as an assurance. So don't bother. I know what I'm doing. Okay, so it is my custom to always encourage students at the first instance, even at the first class, your first moments in the class matters a lot. This has to do with your attending classes and your personal reading. I will encourage you at this point, please do a map out plan for yourself. Do a map out plan for yourself. If you have failed this paper before, failure is not fatal. But it is how you go about it that matters. The difference between success and failure is that success is just somebody that decided to give it a second attempt, even after he has failed before. I've been privileged to teach very dull students. When I say very dull students, I mean very dull students. One of them just called me after the result was released last diet, and he was just like, Mauga, I've passed, so I don't qualify. You know, this is one that cannot even speak English. He can't speak correct English, during my class. But I used to encourage him. Everything he needs, we asking me, Oga Chris, please help me with this, help me with that. And today is chartered. So I believe that everybody can and will qualify. So what matters most is just your tenacity, your consistency, your discipline. My lecturer, when I was also in class, he would tell us then that once you are registered for ICANN, just see yourself as that you have been enlisted in the army, you know. And what does that mean? That means that sometimes during Sunday, if you are a church person, it means that you must be able to sacrifice your church time, you know, just to achieve, you know, this course, because ICANN is a timeline. And if you notice in the last diet, there was a guy that if you are very active on LinkedIn, there's a particular guy, I didn't pick his name, although he just qualified within a year, 10 months. I don't know if you saw it. He qualified within rewind. So it's just a matter of time. Once you can be dedicated and see this as a timeline, then you can be sure that you achieve it. So if you can sacrifice 10 months of your time for this course, then after which, if you want to sleep in the church, like a church rat, no problem. Then also for those that are not a church person, but you know, parties, activities, please, for this course, I would suggest that you just sacrifice them for your success, and it won't be too much. Okay, so I believe by now every student must have downloaded the study pack. You must have it online if you don't even have a physical copy. Okay. Okay, so maybe let me just speak for this course. Let me speak for this course, but I will still meet with you. If you need any ICANN pack, be it physical, online, anything that has to do with material, please just reach out to me. In less than 24 to 48 hours, you will get them. I can assure you that. So I'll write my number. You will know I'm teaching you. So anything that has to do with ICANN related material, not even ICANN, any other examination, professional exam, I always get within 48 hours you get your material, updated ones, with Pathfinder, study packs, and the what have you. Okay, so if you are with your ICANN pack, you will see that the syllabus is quite lengthy. You have looked at it before. You see that it's quite lengthy. You can go to the ICANN platform, the website, and download the study pack. You can do that right away, even as the class is going on. For those of you online, please, if you need to say anything, just unmute yourself and speak up. Okay, so let me continue. So the first topic is the syllabus particularly is broken into 4 categories. Okay, I believe you can see me now. It's broken into 4 categories. The first one happens to be a regulatory and conceptual framework of public sector accounting. Regulatory and conceptual framework of public sector accounting. What does that mean? That's just the laws that guides, you know, public sector accounting. And from the word PSAF, you know, formerly it was just public sector accounting, but they added the finance part. And please, I want to say this at this point. Don't wait for lecturer. Once you have your study pack and your Pathfinder, just do a map out plan and begin to take each topic. You can read ahead of the class. You can practice where you have difficulty. When we come to the class, you can share your bottlenecks. So during my time, that was when ICANN did review syllabus 2019. 2019, they reviewed syllabus. And during that year, that was when the question 140 mark came out fresh. My lecturer, all throughout the time, all throughout the lecture period, we didn't know that there was anything like finance part. And you know, finance is about 7 to 8 topics. just finance alone, where you have public debt, public finance, public expenditure, and the rest. All those topics we didn't touch. And those parts alone is 30%. So you can imagine not knowing 30%, you have not even heard about it at all throughout the lecture, 5 months, we didn't hear anything. So almost everybody failed the diet. And that was because our lecturer was not updated. You get it now. So that's why I advise you to get the pack so that you can see all the topics that you ought to cover and know that as the class is going, we are touching them. So where we are not touching them, you can sound alarm. We are not touching this area, or we have not done this part. But when you don't even know the topics you have to cover, anything the lecturer gives to you is what you take home. You get it now. And during my experience is that it's very good that you touch almost every aspect of the syllabus. You may not know it 100%, but have an idea of all the aspects, because it's when you know something, you can be able to write something. But if you don't even know at all, you have not heard about it, it's completely strange on the examination day. So I think all these are just, I'll be giving them as we continue. So the overview is divided into 4 key particular areas. Regulatory and conceptual framework of public sector accounting, that alone carries 20%. Then planning and budgeting. Planning and budgeting, this is also another area where calculation is very much, because we have different types of budget, your cash budget, overhead, and many others, incremental, zero-based. We look at them, revenue budget and the likes. So that alone carries 20%. Then we'll go to report and audit. Report and audit carries 30%. 30%. Regulatory and conceptual framework of public sector accounts. For those that are online, please, you can jot down. You can just be taking note of these things. The class has started already. Okay, so planning and budgeting, 20%. Report and audit carries 30%. Then public finance. This was what I was talking about. Public finance also takes 30%. So if you have only covered 30% and you are going into the exam, then you can be able to judge yourself whether you are going there to succeed or not. Okay, so that's that. That's just the overview. Then I don't know how you want us to do, but I think it's advisable we take it chronologically. That's from the start to the end. I saw on the timetable that there's optional provision for weekday classes. So I wouldn't know. I will ask so that we can know if we can utilize those times, maybe for the theoretical aspect, so that you can be very familiar with them. All those theoretical aspects of PSAF. We still do them, but at least it will help us to be ready ahead of the exam. So I think let's just start with the introduction of public sector accounting. That's the first topic. So that's under the regulatory and conceptual framework of public sector accounting. That's the introduction to public sector accounting and finance. Introduction to public sector accounting and finance. Okay, so by way of introduction, I don't know who can just tell us from the class here, how many of us have attempted PSAF? Have attempted PSAF before? You have attempted? Okay, all right. You have not attempted, this is your first time. Okay, but you did it in school now, whether you did HND. For those online, you are also permitted to speak. Okay, so even if you are attempting it for the first time, I believe that you must have done them in your higher institutions, be it HND, is a course on its own. Do you understand? So you can tell us, you can share with us what you understand by public sector accounting. Yes. Please be free to talk. Those online, please, you are not excluded from this discussion. Just come on and okay. Somebody said preparation of financial statements of government parastatals. Only parastatal. Okay. Okay. All right. Contributions, please. What is the the analysis, presentation, income expenditure. Yes, of governments. So these ministry, department, agency, what are they? Okay. I believe that as somebody who has done it before, if you have a very good, just like you have said, all the vital areas you have mentioned it in your definition, very valid. Okay, so we are correct. From those online, please, I need somebody to give us a definition for public sector accounting and finance. Anybody online, please just signify so that we can proceed. I don't want to call names, so I can see Abdura, Chidima, Eniola, Ogechi. Anybody online?
I think good afternoon.
Yes, good afternoon. Some people online.
My name is Tosi.
They will be drinking tea and be okay, all right. I'm with you, don't worry. You can go on.
Yeah, I think the accounting for public sector is the is the accounting for like government's own organization that is financed and controlled by the government. If I'm correct, I don't know.
Come again.
I think is the accounting for like government's own organization.
Okay.
That is typically run by the government and financed by the same government on behalf of the public.
Okay. All right. Okay. Just like very good. That's true. Just like we have accounting for private sector. Now, this is just the opposite. The private, as in maybe business name, limited liability company, or private, just generally individuals and group of individuals forming a company. So the other area is government. So everything that has to do with accounting for government, we are going to learn it in this course. You understand? So that is what public sector accounting is all about. So it deals with the accounting, just like she said, and he said, this with the accounting of government accounts, be it federal, state, and local, and ministries. Somebody said parastatals. Those are ministry, departments, and agencies, MDAs of government. So is the accounting for federal, state, and local governments and the various MDAs. Okay, so we also have various definitions that are theoretical, at least for the sake of your exam. it would be nice that you have a more structured definition. Please, all the notes, I have a summarized notes for all the topics. I have personally summarized notes. In fact, when I was in class, it was my notes that was the reference point. So my own note was what if the lecturer needed you to update your notes, he would tell you, go and meet Christian. Because my note was always the update, and I still have it up to now. So, and I also, when I was teaching earlier classes, I had already created summarized notes, even for other subjects like PM, so for SFM, summarized, and they are straight to the point. So I will collate them, I will share them to you. Every aspect of the theoretical aspect, I have them. So I will share them to you. It will help your reading to be very seamless. Okay, so let me give you a definition so that we can move on. So public sector accounting, public sector accounting deals with, you can write, just take it down. I'll still give you the notes. At least you just have to flow with this class. Public sector accounts deals with accounting of the federal, state, and local government. Deals with the accounting of the federal, state, and local governments. And MDAs. And the various MDAs. So accounting, MDAs, ministries, departments, and agencies of government. That's the full meaning of MDAs. Okay, so okay, you can also say that another definition can say public sector account refers to the process of recording, communicating, summarizing, analyzing, recording, communicating, summarizing, analyzing, and interpreting of government financial statements. Recording, communicating, summarizing, analyzing, and interpreting of government financial statements and statistics. Government financial statements and statistics in aggregate and in details. In aggregate and in details. In aggregate and in details. Okay, this definition was given by R.A. Adams. This definition was given by R.A. Adams. Okay. You can also write, let me get another definition. Another definition, public sector accounting. This one, you'll find it in your study pack. Public sector accounting is concerned with the receipt, custody, and disbursement. Receipt, custody, and disbursement. It's concerned with the receipt, custody, and disbursement, and rendering of stewardship accounting. And the rendering of stewardship, just put it like that. and the rendering of stewardship. On public funds and the rendering of stewardship on public funds. I want to believe those online are following me.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
so please,
sir.
if you have any question, please just call my attention to it. Okay. If I take from your study pack, if I read from your study pack now, you said the simplest definition of public sector is all organizations which are not privately owned. We have said that, and operated, but which are established, run, and financed by government on behalf of the public. The definition conveys the idea that the public sector consists of organizations where control lies in the hand of the public, as opposed to private ownership, and whose objective involves the provision of services where profit making is not the primary objective. So in the course of this topic, we also have the tabular comparison, where you compare the private sector and the public sector account, at least have the, I don't want to take this class as you have done it before. I want to give it, you know, a layman and a very low, if not, as I said, it's like you guys need to go and read this on your own. So you understand me? Because really, but at least I know that when you say go and read, I've been a student before. Except you want to deceive yourself. Once some people, once they are living here now, they are resuming back at the night shift. So you understand? So, and some people after today, you know, so it's good we take it as simple as we can take it. Okay, performance measurement in the public sector is hindered by lack of profit motive, multiple objectives, and the presence of intangible service, whose benefits are difficult to quantify. That's for public sector. But in the case of private sector, of course, your performance is measured. It's performance based in every aspect, and they are out for profit making. Okay, so you can read down for your private personal. So if you look at it there, you will see that we said in that place that government accounting, on the other hand, that's paragraph 2 now, is composite activity of analyzing, recording, summarizing, reporting, and interpreting of the financial transactions of government ministries, departments, and agencies. It is clear from this description that the government, like any organization, should give account to give account of its activities to various stakeholders. In this introduction, you also look at the users of what? Financial statement. We have the internal users, and we also have the external users. All these areas are tested. If you check your pathfinders, you will see them that they are tested. They have been tested before. So they are not areas that you just say, okay, you need to just overlook. There are areas that are not tested. I will tell you the ones that have not been tested and the ones that have been tested, but it's still good to know everything as it comes. Okay, so let's just stop there and move on. Let's stop there and move on. So let's look at public finance. We have seen what public sector accounting is. Now let's look at what public finance is. As the topic, as the courses, the paper is public sector accounting and finance. So we have seen public sector accounting. Let's look at the finance aspect. So what is public finance? What is public finance? Yes, anybody? No. If your first time, I can permit you. But those that have written it before, please, when I'm saying those that have written it before, don't feel offended. Me too, I failed and I wrote again. So it's not. It's just that you do it better this time around. That's just the truth. So, okay. Yes.
Just as we have in the private organization,
Yes.
we have government finance.
Those that are online, please be preparing. I need your contribution. Okay.
As we have it in private organizations, that we have the source of finance.
Yes.
Things, venture, financials.
Yes.
But as far as
That's
public
that's-
sector is concerned,
that's cost of capital,
the
performance management.
of how government raise funds from various things.
Okay.
If you are looking at public finance, each of the tiers of government has its own source of finance.
Okay, those online, can you hear this contribution from those physical? So that I can know the length of how this echoes. Those online, can you hear the contribution from those physical? Please kindly confirm.
It's not clear.
Okay, not okay, no problem. I will try to.
So what I'm trying to say is that in public finance,
Okay,
each of the tiers of government, be it
Federal, state, and local.
federal and the states, they have their own source of finance. So for federal now, they are talking of how they are going to raise funds, like the two states of bonds, tax, and some other means.
Okay.
Then how are going to raise the finance? How are we going to discuss it?
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. So just like private organization raise finance for carrying out their business activity, public government also are involved in how to raise finance and how to, use them in meeting their obligation. Okay, that's correct to an extent. Okay, those online, public finance, anybody contribution?
Yes,
Esther.
yes.
Okay.
yes. To me, I would say public finance is concerned with the income and expenditure of public authorities.
Okay.
Yes, with adjustment of one to the other.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Thanks for the contribution. Okay. So I think we have all our suggestions, all our contributions are valid, and that is why in this particular finance topic, you'll be hearing everything that has to do with getting funds, how it is disbursed, public debt, public revenue, public expenditure. Somebody mentioned taxation, of course. If you study taxation, you will hear what they call residual list. You will hear what they call exclusive list. All these are various streams of income. Each level of government has their stream of income, both the local, all these slaughter labs, kiosks, fees, park levies, fines, rates, tenement rates, all of these to local governments, state government has theirs, federal government has theirs. All of these are sources of what revenue to the government. So you can take down that public finance is the study of the role of government in the economy. It's a study of the role of government in the economy that assesses the government revenue and government expenditure. When you say something assesses, it tries to understand the government revenue and government expenditure of public authorities, and the adjustments of one or the other. of one or the other. Okay, that assesses the government revenue and government expenditure of the public authorities and the adjustment of one or the other, and the adjustments of one or the other to achieve desirable effects, to achieve the desirable effects and avoid undesirable ones, and avoid undesirable ones. Okay. To achieve the desired effects and avoid undesirable ones. Under the finance, this area now talks with finance. Under the finance, there might be reasons why government need to increase their expenditure on a year-on-year basis. For example, you look at population. When there is increase in population, definitely government will need to what? Increase the what? The amount of what? Expenditure. Formerly we were 5,000 citizens. Now we rose to 10,000. If government have been spending maybe 500 million when we were just 5,000, you don't expect it. The money will not be enough. There must be increase in what? Expenditure. So there are also various reasons why government expenditure might increase or decrease at a point in time. The supply of money might be reduced. Maybe the government need to what? Regulate what? Money supply, probably to reduce what? Inflation in the economy. Then there will be reasons to what? To reduce expenditure. You know, several other factors can also affect what? Affect increase in government expenditure. So this public finance is a study of how government generates revenue and how they spend. And if you look at it, it said the adjustment of one or the other. Are we adjusting it? Are we increasing it or decreasing it at every point in time in order to achieve what desirable effect? Every government has a what? Has an agenda. The Bala Blue has an agenda for the citizens, as he has said. So, and this will cut across every policy that they make and implement in the economy. Okay, so going from that, we're going to the objectives of public sector accounting. What are the objectives of public sector accounting? This is also very testable. The tested area. You can check your Pathfinder. The tested area. Number one, if you are writing. Number one, to provide the means by which actual performance may be compared with the target set by government. To provide the means by which actual performance can be compared with the target set by government. To provide the means by which actual performance may be compared with the target set by government. We might not always be writing notes. I already have summarized notes. You understand? But I need you to also write notes, because your notes is what you fall back to. Some people are not comfortable with reading pack, just like me. Why some are comfortable reading pack alone? They can read pack like their notes, but it doesn't work for me. If I don't have them in my notes, I can't even read it. Maybe that's what worked for me. I don't know. But it may not work for you. You understand? So you need notes. The notes I'll be giving you, I will expect you to. It's summarized notes. It's just like it's my notes that is summarized here. The key points, the key, everything key. I also have summarized notes by other. So if you need them, I can give them. Okay, so to provide the means by which actual performance can be compared with the target set by government. So for you to compare, just like if you check your audited financial statement, you will see that you have the 5-year financial summary, whereby they compare year-to-year analytical procedure for you to compare the current year with the prior year. So you need accounts before you can make such comparison. We're also going to do it under ratio analysis. You get it now? Ratio analysis. For you to do ratio analysis, then definitely you need your year-to-year comparison. Okay, so number 2, to fulfill legal requirements. For those online, please, if you need to say anything, kindly voice out. To fulfill legal requirements, just like in the private sector, every company is required to submit their audited financial statement 6 months after their financial year end. So also, governments also are required to submit their financial statements, Okay, number 3, ascertaining the legitimacy of transaction and their compliance with the established norms, regulations, and statutes. Ascertaining the legitimacy of transactions and their compliance with the established norms, regulations, and statutes. So just like you have your IFRS, these are standards for compliance as to how you prepare and present financial statements. So as you have them as your ISAs, also the public sector accounting, they also have their own standards. We call it IPSAS. For those that are just...
Please, I take number 2 again.
Okay, I'll take them. I'll take them, don't worry. So we also have the IPSAS. The IPSAS are the standards that regulate public sector accounting, So they must comply with regulatory standards. So ascertaining the legitimacy of transactions and their compliance with the established norms, regulations, and statutes. With the established norms, that's procedures and practices, regulations, various regulations of government, and statutes. Number 4, we need to move fast now. Number 4, appraise the efficiency of management. 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 So I think from what I can see online, I'm encouraged with the turnout. So by next week, I will just make sure that we quickly go into calculations. My mindset was that let's just see. I think if the first week, as we used to know, I was also a student too. Students will still be playing. They are just resuming now. But from what I can see, I don't think we need to waste any more time. We can just go straight down into calculations. Okay. So to appraise the efficiency of management, okay, you can be able to assess if management, those that are responsible for carrying out government activities, are actually they are living up to their duties. To evaluate, that's the next one now. To evaluate the economy, efficiency, and effectiveness. Those are the 3 E's. The 3 E's. The economy, efficiency, and effectiveness with which governance is carried out. With which governance is carried out.
Please take it again. Thank you, sir.
Okay. So we said to evaluate the economy, efficiency, and effectiveness with which governance is carried out. This will be an assignment. This will be I believe you must have had 3 E's before. 3 E's. In this case, efficiency, economy, efficiency, and effectiveness. Yes, they have what they stand for. When we are talking about, okay, in this case now, maybe performance measurements. So they have what they stand for: economy, effectiveness, and efficiency. So go and know what the 3 E's are. When they say effectiveness, what does it stand for? Efficiency, what does it stand for? And economy. Okay, so the next one, for those online, that's for everybody. That's for everybody online. Okay, so the next one now. Number what is that? Number 6. Okay, to provide evidence of stewardship. 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 We said that I'm not dictating now. I'm just reading directly. He said the act of rendering stewardship is being able to account transparently. So if government, you have committed public funds to government officials, then they must be able to come out transparently and, you know, give accounts. Well, somebody will say, when we are discussing public sector accounting, don't use Nigeria as a case study. Because it might not, all the things that may be said might not really be actually represented by Nigeria. So just take a look at public sector, a nation.
Sir.
Yeah, with you.
Please, this device lost and went off. I don't even know what they are itemizing. 1 and 2 of I did not get it. I just started from 3.
Okay. Okay, welcome back home. Welcome back home. So what we are talking about, we are looking at the objectives of public sector account. When government prepare and present their accounts, what is the purpose? What is the purpose for? What are the objectives? What are the purpose for? So we said to provide the means by which actual performance can be compared with the target set by government. If government has set a target, probably maybe revenue targets, just like we had for the Federal Inland Revenue Service. I don't know if they are officials here. They will tell you that the federal government are giving them a target. So they are ready to kill the companies with tax audit, tax review and investigation, liability. So that's a target. So if government has set a target, then it is through accounting that they can measure if those targets set have been achieved. In this area, the case of revenue. Then also to fulfill legal requirements, it is mandatory that government render the account as and at when due. Then number 3, are you with me now? Chidima?
Yes. Yes, I'm okay.
Okay. Okay, so I can pick it from where I stop.
Yeah.
Okay. So to provide stewardship, evidence of stewardship, that's where we were. And we said that the act of rendering stewardship is being able to account transparently and diligently for resources entrusted. Government and public sector officers are obliged to display due diligence and sense of probity. That's probity has to do with prudency. They are similar. That's to be disciplined in spending and avoid wastage. Okay, so sense of probity in the collection and disposal of public fund. That's what stewardship is all about. So rendering accounts, if public funds have been entrusted in you, it is mandatory that you come out and give an account of how you have spent the money that have been entrusted in your care. Okay, so to provide evidence of stewardship, going further, he said to identify the sources of funding To identify the sources of funding capital projects. To identify sources of funding capital projects. To identify the sources of funding capital projects. Okay. I don't know. Let me ask, who can give us examples of the various sources of funding capital projects? There's a fund we call that. There's a fund we call that.
Development fund.
Sorry?
Development fund.
And what type of fund? What type of fund?
Development fund.
Development fund. Okay, thank you, sir. Development fund. We are still going to come across them when we are doing what we call sources of government revenue. Yes, so we look at the various sources, the FRS, the Nigerian Customs, and the oil sector. All this we are going to touch. So in the case of this point now that I said, identifying the source of funding capital project. Capital projects are projects that has to do with not much money needed, maybe construction of bridges, and roads and the likes. So they are capital intensive in nature. And so development funds, what are the income that accrues to development fund? Those that roll as diet, you are here. At least you know this one now. I'll be testing you as we are learning. We have different type of accounts. You have consolidated revenue fund. You have contingency fund. What other fund do you have? You have development fund. What other one do you have? There are many. Petition accounts. Okay. Okay, so let me help. So part of funds that accrue to it are internal loans, external loans, then share from consolidated revenue fund. From that consolidated revenue fund, part of it is what shared to development fund. You get it now. So you also have external loans, you have internal loans, then you have external grants of government. So these are used to carry out capital expenditure projects. Okay, so we are still going to look at them, don't worry. Next one, assisting planning and control. Assisting planning and control. Definitely, you need accounts to plan. Even as an individual, you have your petty accounts. Even if it's to just write all your proposed expenditure for the month, you are a salary earner. It's also part of accounts. Okay. So we said the future is full of risk and uncertainty. Therefore, mapping out strategic plans prevents an organization from drowning in the tides. Plans of action provide the focus of activity which are being pursued. The unforeseen circumstance is built into plans so as to prevent or at least reduce corporate failure. Public sector establishment should act in accordance with the material theory of governance. Control measures are adjuncts to skillful planning. They assist in avoiding unnecessary deviation from the pursuit of the original objectives set. For those of us that did management, everybody did management in school. Abina, and they will tell you the functions of management. If I'm correct, they will tell you that functions of management. I think my lecturer gave us one. I think this is the same lecturer that taught me. Coordinating, yes. So the first one is what? Is planning.
Control. Organizing.
It's breaking up. We can't hear you, Mr. Kester.
Organizing.
Organizing, yes. Organizing, yes. Yes.
Staffing.
Yes, staffing. We have coordinating.
Reporting, budgeting.
Reporting.
Budgeting. Directing.
Directing. Yeah, you were in class that day. You were in class that day. Then we also have controlling. Controlling. Yeah. So controlling helps you to ensure that what you are not deviating from the target set. That's control. That's why in every organization, there's what they call internal control. Internal control is just there to ensure that whatever the